My name is Heidi Parkes, and I'm telling this quilt story for the Warm Remembrances Quilt Making and Memory Making virtual exhibition in 2021. I made this quilt in 2017, and it's called But I Tried to Remember. It was for the color exhibition with the Piecework Collective. It was the Piecework Collective's second exhibition. The first one was on black and white. I was not part of that, but I was delighted to be invited. The exhibition lasted for 3 days in the Chelsea neighborhood of New York, close to the Whitney Art Museum during New York Textile Week. I am not really known for using a lot of color in my work. I especially wasn't at the time. So it made sense to me to use color, but in a muted way. I had also recently gotten sick of piecing things with the sewing machine and was interested in doing only handwork, which I have continued to focus on handwork since then. I had done a couple of whole cloth quilts, and this was a gateway for me into doing things that looked more dynamic visually than a whole cloth quilt, without having to do any machine piecing. So here the only piecing that I did was for a transparent scrim that goes across the surface of the quilt. I pieced together some silk chiffon, some cotton voile, and a polyester curtain that I was repurposing. That scrim layer goes on top of the quilt. The layers are that there's backing fabric, batting, cotton batting, and then lots of individual pieces of fabric. And all of these tiny pieces are held with only the traction of the batting to hold them in place. I did some safety pin basting, and then I quilted across the surface of the quilt to hold everything in place. I used visible knots on the quilt, and I love the way that the knots move and create a painterly texture on the surface of the quilt. I also loved the way that they were a more vibrant color, being that they weren't hidden by the transparent scrim. And I like the way that they make visible connections and links. The fog of that transparent scrim for me echoed what it feels like to reminisce and consider memories. I had read all of Marcel Proust's Remembrance of Things Past and made a series of quilts that were connected to memory and looking back. This particular quilt is about the memory of looking back at a past relationship. So for me, that fog of memory is expressed in that transparent layer. Thank you.